Okay. Just having a look to see what's happening. I'm just waiting actually for the last few things to sort themselves out. Let me just have a look. Okay, great. This all seems to be working well. Okay, so the sound is on, everything's on. Okay, hi guys, it's Ian here from Crack Maths, and welcome to today's session, which is going to be all about percentages. Okay, so if you look in the description at any point, I've got messages down there. I've put links down there to my playlist, which has full-on videos about all the different things we're going to be looking at today. But in today's session, I'm going to be largely looking through some past paper questions, but all to do with percentage. If you want to get a copy of these questions, I've actually stolen them from a website here called Mars Academy. And if you want them, it's a very worthwhile website to check out. The person who's made it, what she's done is she has put together large collections of past paper questions, all by topic based. So what I'm actually going to be doing on these Monday and Friday sessions is I'm just going to be kind of looking through exam style questions specifically on the topics that I've laid out in the timetable. If you want to check out the timetable, just so that you know in advance what's going on, I've put a link on my website here on Crack Maths. And if you go to live lessons up here, what you'll be able to see is you've got the timetable here. So here we go. So this Monday today we're doing percentages. On Thursday I'm going to have a look at a City and Guilds past paper, and then on Friday I'm going to just do some exam questions on probability. So if any of that is of interest to you, please come join. I've got the live chat open as well. So if any of you want to type in any questions, if anything that I'm saying isn't clear, then feel free to do that. I would love to hear from you because any kind of contact makes it actually a little bit easier. It's quite a funny experience actually talking to nobody. But that is fine because I think that is okay, and hopefully I'll get better at it. So please stick with me and join me as today we look at percentages. So I'm going to do a short section first about non-calculated percentages, but really most of the paper that we deal with is going to be the calculator paper. And one of the main problems that we have with percentage questions is that we learn the non-calculator techniques very well, and what we do once we've done that is we overly rely on those. And unfortunately the calculator techniques for percentage can be a little bit time consuming. So they end up meaning that we don't have quite enough time in our exam if we rely too heavily on those. But saying that, let's first of all have a look at this question that I've put here in front of me. So this question says, Asha often goes swimming at Upton Leisure Centre. She pays £5.20 each time she swims. Next month, the price will increase by 12.5%. How much more will Asha pay for each swim? Okay, so basically we've got her current cost. The current cost is £5.20, and that price is going to increase by 12.5%. Okay, and that means 12.5% of £5.20. So what we have to do is I'm going to start off by identifying £5.20 as 100%. So I'm going to say 100% equals £5.20. Okay, now if you've watched any of my videos, you might have heard me talking about how percentages are directly proportional to what they represent, which means when you multiply and divide a percentage by a certain amount, as long as you do that to what it's representing, then that's going to give you the same thing as well. Okay, so if we've got here 100% of £5.20, if I divide both of these by 10, okay, that's going to give me 10%, okay? So I can see that 10% is going to be, well, £5.20 divided by 10. We move the decimal place one space that way. No, we don't. We move it the other way. It's going to get smaller, isn't it? So we move it the other way, so it's going to become 52 pence, okay? So 10% of £5.20 is 52 pence. Now, what we need to do is we need to then get to 2.5%. So what I'm going to do here is I know that 2.5% is half of 5%, which is half of 10%. So I'm just going to half a few times, okay? So 10% divided by 2 gives us 5%. Okay, so 52 divided by 2, that's going to be 26p, okay? If you needed a method to do that, you could have used the bus stop method. I would, because I know that that's 52 pence, I'm going to ignore the decimal here. So I think about 2's into 52. So how many 2's go into 5? Well, 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so that fits into 5. So 2 goes in twice. 5 take away 4 equals 1. So I'm going to put a 1 here, and then I'm looking at how many 2's go into 12. Well, that's 6. So therefore 52 divided by 2 is 26. Now I need to go again. I know that half of 5 is 2.5, so if I divide this by 2, I get the 2.5%. So half of 26 is 13. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just combine my percentages together. Okay, so I've got 10% here and the 2.5% here. So if I think about it, 10% plus 2.5% equals 12.5%. Okay, so if I add those two things together, I will get my answer. So 52, add 13, well 2 add 3 is 5, 5 add 1 is 6, so that's going to be 65p. So the increase is going to be 65p. Now we're increasing £5.20 by 65p, so I'm going to do £5.20, add 65p. Okay, remember to keep everything lined up. So we've got 0 plus 5 is 5, 2 plus 6 is 8, and we've got here 5 here. So my answer is going to be £5.85. Okay, let's just have a look. So next month the price will increase by 12.5%. How much more will Asha need to pay? Oh, I didn't need to add it on. They just wanted to know how much more she would pay. Okay, that's why it's good to double check your questions. So here we go. She only needs to pay 65 pence more. So let's just quickly double check that. 100 divided by 10 was the 10%. £5.20 divided by 10 was 52 pence. Divided by 5 was 26. Divided by 2 was 26. Divided by 2 again is 13. So yeah, add the 13 and the 52 together, gives us 65. So yeah, I'm confident that that first part is correct. Right, let's have a look at part B. £5.20 is 30% more than the price at Downtown Leisure. Calculate the price at Downtown Leisure. Okay, so here what we've got is we've got a reverse percentage question. Okay, so we know a percentage that isn't the original amount. So what we know is that the cost at Downtown Leisure is, well, what we know is that if we said that Downtown Leisure is 100%, if we add 30% to that, we get our £5.20, okay? So Downtown Leisure, add 30% equals £5.20, okay? So here we go. What we can do is we can then identify that we know that 130% of the cost of Downtown Leisure is £5.20. Now what we need to do is we need to get to 100%. So what we need to do is I need to do the same kind of thing as I was doing before, okay? But just down here. So what I'm going to do is I can see that if I do 130% divided by 13, okay, that's going to give me 10%. And then from 10%, I'll be able to work out 100%. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got £5.20. I need to divide that by 13. Okay, that isn't the nicest calculation to do. I'm going to write it out with the bus stop method just to see if that makes things a bit easier. So we've got here £5.20 divided by 13. Okay, right, well, 13s into 5, they don't go. Okay, so I'm going to put a 0 here. So, and I'm going to carry this 5 because we've still got that left. So now what I'm looking at is 13s into 52. Okay, so let's have a look. So 13, 26, 39, 52. Okay, so I can see that 13 times 4 equals 52. So 13 goes into 52 4 times. So what I'll do is I'll put a 4 up here. And then there's actually, that goes in perfectly. There's nothing left. So 13 goes into 0 times. So I can see that 10% is 40p. Now, 10% times 10 gives us 100%. So if I times that by 10, I get 100%. So if I times this by 10 as well, I get 100% too. So 40 pence times 10 is going to be £4, okay? So the price at Downtown Leisure is going to be £4. Okay, right. How was that, by the way? If anyone wanted to add any insight. Okay. If that's all good, then I'm just going to move on, actually. So let's see. We've done 10 minutes so far. I'm here for 45 minutes. So let's have a look at another non-calculator question, and then I'm going to switch over to the calculator questions. Okay, so let's have a look. Right, so here we go. The old world record for the longest knitting... That's funny. The old world record for the longest knitting needles was 3.98 meters. The new world record is 11% longer. What is the new world record for the longest knitting needles? Give your answer in meters. Okay, right. So basically, this is what is 3.98 meters add 11%. So we're starting from the point of the old world record. So I'm going to say that 100% equals 3.98 meters. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this by 10. To get 10%. So I can say that 10% is equal to 0.398 meters. Okay, right, now that's a lot of the way to 10%, but 11% equals 10%, add 1%. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at what is 1%. So if I divide 10% again, so I divide this by 10 again, I get 1%. And so 1% equals 0.0398 meters. Okay, so what I can see is if I'm looking to do 10% add 1% in order to get 11%, what I'll need to do is I'm going to write this. Well, actually, we need to add, I'm going to write this down here. So we've got 0.398 add 0.0398. I'm going to stick a 0 there so I don't lose the place value. 0 add 8 is 8. 8 add 9 is 17. 9 add 3 is 14. And 3 add 0 add 1 is going to be 4. Right, I'm just going to double check those. So we've got 0 add 8 is 8. 8 add 9 is 17, so I've carried the 1. 9 add 3 is 12, add 1. Oh, I said that was 14, so that was a mistake. So it's always good to double check you're working out here. So 9 add 3 add 1 is 13. Okay. And now what we've got here is we've got a 3 and a 1, which have made the 4. So these two numbers together make 0.4378 meters. Okay, right, let's see what else we need to do for this question. So it said the old world record for the longest knitting needles was 3.98 meters. The new world record is 11% longer. What is the new world record? Okay, so we have now found out 11%. So now we just need to add this on to the old world record. Okay, right. So let's do, I'll do it over here. 3.98, add 0.4378. Okay, I'm going to put the zeros here for my place value. And now what we get is we've got 0 add 8, which is 8. 0 add 7, which is 7. 8 add 3 is 11. So I'll put a 11 here and a 1 there. 9 add 4 add 1 is, 9 add 1 is 10. 10 add 4 is 14. So I'll put that here and a 1 there. And then 3 add 0 add 1 is 4. So here we go, we've got the new world record, which is 4.4178. And hopefully that's all correct. So let's just have a quick look just to double check. So we've got here 0.0398 for 10%. Yeah. 0.0398 for 1%. We did 10%. Oh. We did 10% add 1% for 11%. Okay. And we double checked that before, so we're happy that that's correct. And so therefore, that is our answer. Right, so let us now go over to some calculator questions. So let me quickly whiz down a few bits because, as I said before, I really wanted to take some time to look at the calculator questions because, this looks like it's got a lot of writing to it. Because one of the main places that people fall down in their calculator paper is that they don't use the fast methods for percentage. So I'm going to go through this question and we will use the calculator methods and we will look at the faster methods of calculating percentage. Okay, so let's have a begin. So Beth is on a work placement. The company makes biscuits. In 2018, it reduced the number of biscuits in each packet. The weight of each biscuit stayed the same. The weight of a packet went from 135 grams to 108 grams. The 135 gram packet contained 25 biscuits. How many fewer biscuits did the 108 gram packet contain? Okay, that actually doesn't seem like a percentage question to me. So I am going to, since we've read it, let's have a go at it. But then I will move on quite after that. So let's see. So it reducing up the packet. So what have we got? We've got the 135 gram packet had 25 biscuits in. So I'm going to write down here that it's all the same kind of methods anyway. This is still direct proportion. But we've got 135 grams equals 25 biscuits. So this is directly proportional. So what I can do is I can divide both sides by 135 in order to find out how much 1 gram of biscuits weighs. Okay, well, not how much 1 gram of biscuits weighs, but yeah, what part of a biscuit is 1 gram. So I'm going to divide this by 135 as well. So let me get up my calculator for this, because this is a calculator sort of question here. So 25 divided by 135 equals this, okay? So I know that 1 gram of biscuits equals this number here. I know that 1 gram is 0.18518,519 biscuits. Okay, so now I want 108 grams. So I'm going to times my 1 gram by 108 in order to find out how many biscuits that is. So times 108. So I'm going to keep this number on my calculator, and so I know that 108 grams here is equal to this number times 108. And there we go. That's your sign that it's the right answer, because it's a whole number of biscuits. Okay, so there we go. So there's 20 biscuits in the new packet. Okay, so because the packet started out with 25 biscuits in, and now it's got 20, we can do 25 take away 20, and that will equal 5 biscuits. Okay, so how many fewer biscuits did the 108 gram pack contain? 5. Right, okay, hopefully this next question will actually be about percentage. So let's take a quick look. I can see a percentage here, 4 marks, so that's a nice beefy question. Yes, excellent. So this is just the kind of thing that I want to have a go at. Right, so the table shows the number of people attending speed awareness courses each year from 2014 to 2018. Okay, right. So if I look at this table, I can see that we've got the years, and I can see that we've got the total number of people in each year. Jed said, it's a combo question. Jed said the mean number of people attending each year from 2017 to 2018 is just over 3% higher than the mean number of people attending each year for 2014 to 2016. Is Jed right? Interesting as to why they've said the mean. Because the mean doesn't seem to be part of this question. Unless what they've told us is that the total number of people is the mean number of people. Because they've just given us the yearly totals, haven't they? So let's just double check this question. So it says here, the table shows the number of people attending speed awareness courses each year from 2014 to 2018. Jed says the mean number of people attending each year for 2017 and 2018, is over 3% higher than the mean number of people for 2014 to 2016. Right, okay, so what we have to do is we have to find the mean for 2017 and 2018. But this is quite nice because it's simply going to be, the mean of these two is going to be the two things added together and divided by 2. Okay, so remember the mean, if you remember about the mean equals everything added divided by the number of things. Okay, so that's kind of like an average. So what we've got here is we're looking at the everything added divided by the number of things. So we have the two things here to add together. So what's that's going to be? We've got to add these two things. So let's do, well, I'll have to write it down because you've got to show you working out. So if I do 1, 4, 1, 3, 5, 9, 8, add 1445817, all divided by 2. Okay, I'll do that on my calculator. So I'm going to do this number here, 1413598, add 1445817. Okay, so that equals this number. So I'll write that down, 2859415, all divided by 2. Okay, so let's divide that by 2. Okay, so that equals, so the mean for this first year is going to be 1429707.5. Okay, so that's the mean for 2017-2018. Okay, now let's find the mean for 2014 to 2016. So what we have to do for that is we're going to have to add all of these three together here. So let's go, well, I best write it down for my working out. 1355796, add 14055, oh, I missed the 3, 5, add 1390880, and then if I divide all of that by 3, okay, let's see what we get. Okay, and then we can start looking at the percentage part. Okay, so what we have is we'll have 1355796, add 1403123, add 1390880. So that equals 4150231 over 3. Okay, and then we can divide that by 3. And so this equals 1383410.3 recurring. If you ever see that dot, by the way, that dot means that something is a recurring function. So I'll put that there. Now, the next thing that we've got to do is, we now need to increase one of these by 3%. So let's just check which one it was. So it says that Jed says the mean number of the people attending each year from 2017 to 2018 is over 3% higher than the mean for this. Okay, so in theory, if we add 3% to this mean, it still won't be as high as this mean. Right, and this is where the quick method comes in that I was talking about. So the quick method for ever doing a percentage increase is by doing percentage decimal multipliers. And the way a percentage decimal multiplier works is you take 100%, you add on your increase, or you take away your decrease. So in this case, we add on the 3%, and we get that that is equal to 103%. Then what we do is if we divide this by 100, what we get is 1.03. Now, anything that I multiply by 1.03 is going to be increased by 3%. So, if I've got this number here still on my calculator, and I times it, okay, by 1.03, I will get a new number that is 3% higher. So here we go. I'll have to write down this in my working out. So 1383410.3 recurring multiplied by 1.03 is equal to 1424912.64. Okay, now let's have a quick comparison with this number over here. Okay, well, what I could just do is, because I've got this in my calculator, I could, well actually no, we can just do this by observation. So let's see, they've both got a 1 at the front, they've both got a 4 next, they've both got a 2 next, so they're the same up until now. Then this one has a 9, this one has a 4, so I can see that 9 is higher than 4, so I can actually see that this number is larger. And in fact, I should probably make an attempt to read this number out. So if I put a comma here and a comma here, this number is 1,429,707.5, and this number here is 1,424,912.64. Right, so this is how we've decided. 1 second, so who is right? Is Jed right? He is right, it is over 3% higher. Yes, because an increase of 3% would only be $1,424,912.64. Okay, great. Right, let's now have a look at another calculator question. So I reckon I've just moved my calculator off the screen. So here we go. Right, here we go, a nice straightforward calculator question this time. So for this one, it says the company's income, pardon me, right, this question says the company's income in 2019 was £863.490. This was 7% higher than in 2018. Work out the company's income in 2018. Right, okay, so this is a reverse percentage question again. So what we've got to think about is we've got to think about this. We've got to think the company's income in 2018 is going to be the 100%. Then we're adding on the increase, okay? So here we go, then we're adding on the 7%. So that means we're getting 107%. Now, as this is the calculator paper, I just want to do the multiplying method, okay? So I'm going to do 107 divided by 100, which equals 1.07. Now remember, any number multiplied by 1.07 is going to be increased by 7%. So any number in the world that you multiplied by 1.07 will be increased by 7%. So what we've got to think about here is the question at hand. So the company's income in 2019 was £863.490. No, just 490. Okay, so this was 7% higher. So basically what we've got is we've got the income in 2018. I'm just going to write that as income times 1.07, okay, because it had a 7% increase, is now equal to 863,490. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is we need to do a reverse calculation. So if we know that two things multiply together to make a third thing, we can always rearrange that to know that this third thing, which is called the product, this here, divided by either the income or divided by the 1.07 will give the other one of these. The example I always like to do is if we think about 3 times 4 equals 12, well, we know that 12, this thing here, okay, we know that 12 divided by either of these gives the other one. So I could do 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Okay, so let's have a look at that and see how that goes. So I can rearrange this. So I've got 8 point, well, there's no point there, I've just put that point, 863,490 divided by 1.07 is going to equal the 2018 income. Okay, so let me do that on my calculator. So what we get is we've got 8, 6, 3, 4, 9, 0 divided by 1.07, and that equals, that's a nice number, 807,000. There we go. So there's our answer. Okay, so just to recap that, what we did was we knew there'd been an increase of 7%. So we did 100% add 7% equals 107%. And then what we did 107% divide by 100 to get 1.07. And then because of that, we knew that anything that has been multiplied by 1.07 has been increased by 7%. So therefore, we know that the old income multiplied by the 107, okay, the old income here multiplied by 107 gave the new income, okay, and that's that one here. And that's how we went about this. Okay, right, let's have a look at another question. Oh my word, is whenever they put a table in, the question always looks instantly a lot harder. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this question. So this question says, this is Eli's electricity bill for the first quarter of this year. Okay, so what we've got, so we can see that it says total electricity used, dual fuel discount, total including VAT. VAT is VAT is calculated after the discount. Of course it is. Right. What percentage has been used to calculate the VAT? Right. Okay. So they're wanting to know £9.85 is what as a percentage of the £211.90. Okay, so this is writing one number as a percentage of another. Okay, so that's what this technique is called. It's writing a number as a percentage of another. So let's go here. Well, first of all, let's find out what number we're talking about. So we want to know what is £9.85 as a percentage of of 211 minus £14.90. So let's do 211 minus £14.90 first. So 211.90 minus 14.90 equals, I'm just going to use the calculator. We could work this out in our heads, but it's a calculator question. £197. Okay, so if we know that 100%, okay, because remember VAT is added on to the bulk of the money, so this £9.85 will be a percentage of that. So 100% is equal to the £9.85. Okay, right, well what we can do actually is, for this one, we can think about it as £9.85. Oh, no, sorry, 100% doesn't equal £9.85. Right, 100% equals the £197. Okay, so let's put that over here. So £197 equals equals 100%. Okie dokie, so that's what we have here. Now what we've got to think about is, if I know that £197 is 100%, I want to know what percent is £1. Okay, so I do 197 divided by 197, and I divide this side by 197. Okay, so I've got 100 divided by 197 equals this. So £1 is 0.5076% of £197. Oh, I shouldn't write the percentages there. What am I doing? Oh, no, that is right, yeah. Sorry. It all gets a bit confusing sometimes. Right, so here we go. So we know that 100% is £197. So that means what I've done is I've just rewritten it the other way around. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub that out because that's actually a little bit confusing. So if we know that £197 is 100%, then £1 is equal to 0.567%, or 0.5076%. Now I want to know what percent is £9.85. Okay, so now all I do is I times this by £9.85. I have to times this by £9.85. So hopefully that's going to give me a lovely answer. £5. There we go. So that means that the VAT was 5% because £9.85 is 5% of this. And we can check that by doing, now remember with our percentage decimal multipliers, so if I want to find 5% of something, so all I have to do is 5% divide 100 and that equals 0.05. Now, if I want to find 5% of anything, I simply need to multiply it by 0.05. Okay, this is a percentage decimal multiplier. So let's do 197 multiplied by 0.05. Now, if this is all correct, this should equal our £9.85. And it does. Excellent. Okay, so here we go. I can write that here. So the answer was 5%. There we go. Write it in both black and purple. Right, okay. Well, we've got 4 minutes left, so let's have a go at one more question, and then I will leave it there. But thank you for anyone that's watched this far. Please, if you have any questions or anything, and you do want to join in on the video or anything, and just please let me know, because I'm more than happy to respond to the chat and to take your leads on where you want these things. I'm putting these lessons on for the benefit of people studying functional skills maths, or anyone really that's looking at this sort of topic. So if you want to brush up on your percentages, well, I think Thursday we've got past paper, and I think Friday, what did I say Friday was again? On Friday we are looking at probability. Okay, so if you've got any questions on probability, actually, make sure you have a look at them in advance and come join me on Friday. But before then, let's just see if we can get this last question done. So here we go. We've got Cameron looks at his quarterly water bill. Total volume of water used this quarter is 118 meters cubed. This is 23% less than the same quarter last year. Work out the volume of water Camel used for the same quarter last year. Okay, right, so last year's water minus 23%. So last year's water is the 100%, minus the 23% equals 0, well, not yet, equals 77%. So last year he used 77% of the water that he used this year. Okay, so no, this year he used 77% of the water that he used last year. Now remember, 77 divided by 100 equals 0.77. So anything that's been multiplied by 0.77 has been reduced by 23%. Okay, so anything multiplied by 0.77 has been reduced by 23%. So what we've got is last year multiplied by 0.77 is going to equal 118 meters cubed. Now remember our reverse calculation. So always think 3 times 4 equals 12. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So that means that 118 divided by 0.77 is going to equal last year. Okay, and we can do that here. So what we get is 118 divided by 0.77 equals 150. Ooh, yeah, 153.246. And this makes sense because it says give your answer to one decimal place. So we need to round this to one decimal place. So we've got to think, is 24 closer to 20 or 30? Well, because this is a 4, it means it's closer to 20. And if you think about it, that makes sense because there's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 above it. And then only, it's kind of, anyway, it is what it is. Right, so we've got here 153.2 meters cubed. Right, okay, well, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you all in another session, maybe on Thursday or Friday, or this time next week. Okay, right, thank you again for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.